Well, my bad, everybody. I know I'm a second or two late here. Let's go ahead and get this whole beautiful show started because I'm excited.
Distance nerding.
Hey! What's up, everybody? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It is time time for the build. Oh, and is tonight going to be glorious. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined here by everyone's favorite horror host, the beard with the plan, the man who is known as the greatest husbeard. Like, I don't know, that title is between you and Fours, but yours is the most beautiful of all of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our boy Graveyard. Everybody give Graveyard a round of applause. Oh. Doesn't work when the volume's all the way down, right?
Yeah, tends not to.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are ready. Our interview for tonight with Ben Schwartz is not until the second half of the show. Ben is the owner of a comic book shop here in Sacramento called Empire Comics, and he is closing the shop at 7, so he'll be on a little bit later. We're going to do the interview in the second half, which is very different from what we normally do, but we figured, hey, let's go ahead and change it up, and we're gonna do the bracket in the first half of the show because we got a music bracket to do. On top of that, you know, I decided that we were going to do a surprise giveaway. Oh, yeah. What's the sound? Hold on. I got a sound bite for the giveaway. I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but I have a 244-piece Christmas penguin. You go ahead and show you guys this real quick. There you go. I'm giving this away on the show tonight.
Nice.
Okay? This is going to somebody tonight. All you have to do is stick around, and when you hear this sound, then what you'll do is you'll put the words here in the chat, because then I know you guys are interested in winning the prize. Not yet, Cam. I know.
Jumping the gun.
Oh, yeah. No, he's like, I want it right now. I want it. Right. But guys, that you got to tell your friends, share the page, like share the stream right now. I just posted it on Instagram and Facebook all over again. Share it to your Instagram, share it on your Facebook. Get more people in the chat, because I know that's less chances for you, but I mean the whole point is me giving stuff away is that I want more people in the chat. I also have this that I'm going to be giving away tonight too as a runner up, right? So I'm going to be running it a second time, so that way, you know, if you don't win the one that you want, I've got this right here. I've got a little Minecraft kit for all of our Minecraft fans out there. So I'm going to give that away too. Now, this one's a lot smaller. This one is a 72-piece thing. Oh, we have a Christmas Fours in the building.
Mr. Fours.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm wearing Christmas jammies right now, and they're dinosaurs.
I have a Nightmare Before Christmas hat.
Oh. What's this?
The husbeard's on the screen.
The husbeard's on the screen with my wife in. Just popped on. Oh, Jack, you're muted.
I was gonna come on here. I was gonna come on here and say I was the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
What's this? La Jack, she is now seen.
It only works if your mic is on. So, well, that being said, guys, before we jump into this bracket, because I'm very excited for this, because we got rid of the worst Christmas song ever made, Mariah Carey. Out of
the Mariah Carey's the worst Christmas song.
God, I hate that song so much, man. I cannot stand that song. And it might be just because I've heard it so many times, because it's on repeat during the holidays, more so than any other Christmas song. I was like, I cannot stand this song anymore.
James just noticed I cut my hair.
Oh. So, guys, before we get into everything, of course, we got to shout out all the companies, all the people that keep the show going and keep the lights on, essentially, right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this whole stream is brought to you by Poddex.
Poddex.
There we go. Poddex are a unique interview question and episode starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Now, guys, use the code NERDING10. That is NERDING10 to get 10% off your order. Guys, Poddex are amazing. If you're not already into Poddex, it's definitely something you guys should check out, whether you are a podcaster or not. It's fun for a party game. Me and LeJack have used it on co-streams where we've just asked questions of the audience and had a crap ton of fun. So, guys, check out poddex.com. And again, use the code NERDING10, get that 10% off your order. So,
hold on. Wait. Hold on. I want to see if I can do this next one by memory. You ready for this?
Dude, I'm hold on. Let me take that off the screen. Go ahead. Go for it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering how it is young Phil maintains all his enthusiasm, all his energy, all his get up and go. And the answer to this is quite simple, folks. It's Dubby. Use code NERDING10 and you can get how many flavors now? 7? 8?
There are 7 flavors.
7 flavors of Dubby.
Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dubby, it's designed to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Oh my God, the flavors are so good, and I'm already excited.
And it's keto friendly.
Oh, it is keto friendly. I am already excited to build up my push and punch. It's so good. Like this is easily the best flavor they've ever come out with, and they're like that's saying a lot considering that I love the Dragonade, right?
So how'd I do? Was that okay?
You did great, man. That's fine. Yeah, that was actually really good intro on there. So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you see it right there, I got that push and punch, baby. Yes, it is a
go
punch lemon lime flavor. God, it's so good.
And it is Roshi approved.
Roshi, Master Roshi, how do you get all of your energy?
Well, I'm so very glad that you asked that question. First of all, I use code NERDING10, and then I get my collection of dragon-flavored Dubby. Woohoo!
Actually, that is a thing. All right.
And also, just so you know, because we're live on the internet, it's also known that it kind of fuels my perversion. Just so it's out there. It's the best way I can look at all the ladies. Woohoo!
God, I hate you so much. You're worse than Kakarot. All right, mixing up my flavor. I don't have my mason jar today because they're all dirty. So, guys, this prompted me to bring an old friend out of retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, you used to see him on the show all the time. I'm bringing him back. It's our boy, Emmett.
Oh,
nice.
What's up, Emmett?
Emmett is making an appearance back on the show. That's right, because his head is empty and I need to fill it with bad things. Yeah, that was an old joke I used to do on every episode. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You see me pouring the dubs into Emmett's head.
And that is not clear liquid, folks. That is a strong, potent Dubby today.
Oh yeah.
How is it?
Good.
Oh, sucralicious.
Oh my God. So good with this. All right. We go ahead and switch this camera over real quick. Oh. Boom.
I would just like to say that those jammies are most festive.
Oh yes. A really, really, really cute girl got these for me last year.
Oh yeah.
And I am just so happy to be married to her now.
Is she quite the hottie?
She is. I mean, you can see her on the screen right there. She's a pretty good looking chick. Look at her. She's trying to ignore everybody right now. Or no, her mic's turned off again.
Her microphone just turned off. I really got to stop that.
Sorry.
Yeah, because I was just like, she's not saying anything. And then I look over and because her mic's turned off.
Sorry, you guys. I have to eat when I get home. I can't do this like waiting until like 9 o'clock to eat.
Yeah.
So,
It's fair.
So essentially, guys, what I'm doing here, I've got a little bit left on R2D2, so I'm going to finish that up. And then as soon as that's done, I'm starting on the Harry Potter Hogwarts clock tower.
Hi, Harry Potter.
Hey.
Harry Potter.
I hit the
Harry
button.
I mean, you guys. I'm glad you guys are a fan of Troll, with the main character being Harry Potter and all.
Mr. Potter.
Turn to page 394.
Page 394. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta know.
Yes.
Snape or Sheriff of Nottingham?
Ooh, it's hard to call because the Sheriff of Nottingham was also really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with Marvin.
Yes, Marvin's. Yes, I have a tattoo of Marvin on my sci-fi leg.
Do you have a tattoo of Marvin?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
Husbeard,
Yes.
where'd you get the hat?
Oh, it just magically appeared at my door today.
That is the most epic thing ever.
He just shows up on the show wearing a disconcerting hat.
Exactly.
I know, right?
Yes, and James noticed it too. Thank you, James. I like the compliments on my hat. It is a nice hat.
Ooh,
I get the feeling that like a bag of pickled flavored chicharrones are probably gonna show up at my doorstep any day now.
Everything we made him eat is going to show up at your house.
I can confirm I
Including like
I
a
don't see the
4-week-old
box
McRib.
anymore.
Yes.
He's like, wait a minute, there's not a box in the house. Don't see pickle flavored chicharrones in the house right now.
Well, thank you, James. Yes, the hat does go good with the beard. I agree.
I have something something equally as beautiful on the way to you as well. So
To who?
to Husbeard.
To fours.
The force.
Nice.
To fours, Roshi.
All right. Oh, so apparently you get the same bottle of Fruit Quakes coming your way too.
Oh my god.
Hasn't been finished yet.
You know, that was the first guess I made too. I was like, am I getting a half-drank bottle of Fruit Quake?
Do you know how long that bottle sat in his office before I was like, do you want me to throw that away for you?
4 weeks.
Yeah. Why,
I
were you on with him when I said it?
No, I took a guess because I
It
was
was
like,
in there for a while.
Oh
He's
my!
like, oh yeah, I'm not going to drink it. And I was like, it's been sitting here for like weeks. Why would you drink it?
Science experiment. See how long it takes for it to go moldy. I mean, that's.
I mean, it's not going to go moldy. That's the whole.
The guy who installed our air conditioning, he had a like a hydro flask that had like a smoothie or something in it, and he's like a single guy or whatever, and he like left it like sitting like on his like dresser or something for like weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, the pressure built up on it, and the thing shot off and like embedded in his ceiling.
Oh,
because whatever was in it was like fermented in a hydro flask.
Nice.
What? Oh my gosh.
I mean, everyone likes to make science experiments. My kids leave stuff out all the time, and we see what grows.
At my old job, I was that person that would go through the fridge and start throwing people's crap out. And I found like a Cool Whip container, like with all these moldy ass strawberries.
Oh.
And so
Oh.
I cleaned it out, and then because I wanted to shame them in some way, shape, or form, And nobody was gonna like cop to it, so I just cleaned it and I took the container and I put a note. I said, "Whoever was trying to make strawberry wine in the refrigerator, it didn't work out. Here's your container back."
Seriously. Oh my god, dude.
Okay, so are we gonna do this bracket? Do we have other things?
I think I'm ready for the bracket.
Yes,
Bracket
bracket it up.
time!
All right. So last week it got down to, so on the left side, we got it down to Last Christmas by Wham.
I don't know if you guys see what that is.
I see
That's
it.
a lightsaber.
It's Luke's lightsaber.
Got a
It
lateral
is.
fusion pipe.
Lateral fusion pipe.
That's also on my leg.
Okay. So we got down to Last Christmas by Wham. That will go up against whatever we get to on the right side of the bracket.
Okay, the question is, are we voting for the worst song or the best song?
Best. Oh my god,
The
best.
ultimate.
Oh,
The ultimate.
I'd have been for the worst, but
Are you saying that you don't like Last Christmas by Wham?
Oh,
I am saying I am a Scrooge. Bah humbug.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna let that one go.
We discussed this last week on Kyrie After Dark.
Okay.
That you are the Scrooge?
Yes, I am the Scrooge. Yes.
Okay, so first up we have Blue Christmas by Elvis versus Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys.
It's Little Saint Nick, Little Saint Nick.
I'm gonna have to give it to the Beach Boys.
Absolutely, Beach Boys. They win overall.
Truth.
And they were in Full House. Elvis never was. So, I mean,
That's also true. Twice.
Like,
and
Elvis-
they were on Home Improvement.
they were on.
They were Wilson's cousins.
Yes. Brian Wilson.
Okay. Philippe, what's your vote?
I'm going Little Saint Nick.
Yay.
That's that's a closeout.
That's a
Yeah.
That's unanimous. That's unanimosity.
What kind of shenanigans going on here?
Shenanery.
So James voted for Blue Christmas.
Yes, but I'm saying as far as the people on the screen,
Oh yeah.
we're unanimous. We're the only people that. Okay, we're not the only people that. No.
La Jack, you almost said it on the internet.
We're the only people who I don't know. I can't come back from that one.
Roll with it.
Exactly.
Roll with it.
Let's
James thinks I'm gonna skew the bracket here.
Brave is here to screw up the brow. No, he didn't. Mariah wasn't even a contender. Wasn't even a contender.
Mm.
All right. Any last votes? Blue Christmas by Elvis versus Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys. Going once.
Frey Girl said Elvis is the king.
Going twice. Sold for Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys.
Yay.
Sorry, I have all my life together. Oh.
So does his saber stick out of his head? Like, where'd the saber go?
So yeah, it's in his head. There's a little piece right here that pops off.
Yep.
Right, and the saber comes out of his head.
Nice.
So cool.
Needs a trigger to pop it up.
I wonder if there is one. A lot of times there's like hidden triggers on this thing. I don't see where there would be one on here though.
I have hidden triggers. All right, next up we have Happy Christmas by John Lennon or Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry.
Have to go with Run Run.
Yeah, I agree. Run Run is better.
What about you, Philippe?
I like Lennon, but I kind of need to go with Run Run Rudolph just because for me it's a little more iconic.
Yeah.
I would much rather listen to that at a party. I would like to listen to Happy Christmas by John Lennon in the car on the way home from the party.
Fun fact.
There you go.
Fun fact. Jackie doesn't want to be at the party to begin with. So
Also, there you go.
It's fair.
Actually, I just wrote a whole. The funny thing is, so I really just prefer to be like a fly on the wall. I don't mind going to parties. I just don't like interacting at them. Instead, I go to parties, I collect information, and then I write stories about them. Because I'm a weirdo.
Are they all made up of different letters from cutout newspapers and magazines?
Sometimes. No, sometimes I get a lot of time, so it's kind of a hybrid versus like just things that I've collected from just collected over the years as far as like overhearing things. But then I also do subscribe to newspapers.com and am very handy with it. So then I fill in the gaps of the things with newspapers, and then I created like a whole like kind of like alternate universe. But anyway, the one story that I actually like, I'm gonna finally post, because I've never really like posted anything that I've written. But it's really, I don't want to say it's a stupid story. It's not stupid. It's just a really like simple story about Christmas Eve at my grandparents' house. And it's not, the funny thing is I wrote it, I had it edited, and then realized I didn't even talk about like the opening of presents. It's like literally like what you would see if you went. Like you would see people sitting on the floor, you would see where you would see like the tree, and like just like kind of like the dynamic of what Christmas Eve was like, because things always changed, but the dynamic always kind of stayed the same and is still kind of the same to this day, at least with my family. People have come and gone, and we've moved to a couple different places, but like the dynamic is still the same. So it's really just like capturing that dynamic. But yeah, so I typed it up, and then my best friend edited it, and then I'm gonna print it out and give it to my family for Christmas. I already read it to my sister, but that was before it was edited, and she really liked it. So I decided I was just gonna print it out and give it to them for Christmas. So it's one of those things where I realized like my role, I don't know, I feel like my role has always just kind of been like a fly on the wall, because that's how I prefer to be. And so now I'm just kind of, those thoughts and ideas have marinated over a lot of years, and now I'm just writing them down in like a story form. And some have characters, and some, honestly, this particular thing reads more like a screenplay more than anything. But then I actually have like actual stories, but this one is more like screenplay-esque than it is a like story.
Nice. Sorry to interrupt you real quick, Jack. Just introducing here. I think this might be her first time on a build, because she was on the 100th episode for a little bit, but she hasn't been on the build before. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Fours is in the building.
Hey there.
Shout outs to Aubrey. What's up?
Nothing much. I have to get my Bluetooth connected. Hold on.
Well,
I'm doing great though.
Awesome. I'm done with R2D2, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and show him off real quick.
Wow, that is awesome.
So
Yeah.
R2, his head does move. So moves around and whatnot. His little arms pop out.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
All right, so you got the little arms that pop out. His legs move back so then he can walk, right? Can't really see it right there, but yeah, you can. His legs move back so that way he can move around and walk and whatnot. The little thing on top of his head pops out, so it's like when he was in the swamp and the little thing comes out.
Yeah.
Right, so that
They have all the details.
Yeah, so
We
that
do.
we'll move it down so you guys can actually see it. So yeah, like the little antenna comes up. All right. And then again, we saw earlier when I was putting it together, but little piece pops off his head right there, and Luke's lightsaber comes out.
Oh, that's so cool. By the way, hi Jackie. Hi Graveyard.
Hi.
Hi Mr. Forrest.
Hey,
And
Aubrey.
hey,
How's it going?
Hey, Faker.
I like how the response was, "Hi, Aubrey." Hi, Aubrey. How's it going?
All the love there. Mr. Forrest.
Now it also has like this little commemorative thing here, right? So it's got like all the
So what is that?
it's got like all of his information, right? So it's like, oh yeah, R2D2 and all of his like specs. 50th
Nice.
anniversary Lucasfilm, and then a R2D2 minifig.
That's so cool.
They need to have one with a serving tray for him too, put on over his head.
Right, give him the serving tray from the movie.
Yeah.
Actually, Aubrey, you might appreciate what this week's build is.
Oh, it's Harry Potter.
It is Harry Potter. I am building the clock tower, and it's a 3D puzzle, so it's not a Lego piece.
Oh.
I remember 3D puzzles from the 90s.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're quite like the 3D puzzles that we had in the 90s, though.
Probably not. That's probably a lot better.
The last time we did a 3D puzzle, it was almost like, I don't want to say more complicated than a Lego, but it definitely took longer.
Oh yeah, the girl ring.
Which is ironically another Harry Potter one.
Huh. So
I don't know
are
if we
those
planned it that way.
are those the like ours were foam in the 90s? Is that foam as well?
No, they're cardboard actually.
Oh, that's definitely different.
The funny thing was the one from last year was, I thought it was a Lego, and I
Oh, this one is foam.
wait, what is that?
Yeah, this one's foam.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. Oh, neat.
Oh, that's a 3D puzzle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a builder. Or is it?
Agent M, that is so true. Agent M says humans are as complicated as Legos, and I'm like, that is so true.
Truth.
Humans-
But it's I think it hurts more to step on a Lego than a human.
No, you're not wrong.
See, the one that I got him was more like a model. This one's like an actual puzzle.
Yeah, this one might be a little too difficult to do on the show. This might be actually just be something that I have to build on the side.
Yeah.
And wow, look at those.
Yeah, but look at these pieces, like these.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Looks
other
like
one
a
that
really
we
cool
got
puzzle.
was more of like a model. So like it came off in like sheets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
You have another one we can do, Philippe?
I do have other things that I can build. This might be too complicated to do on the show because I'm going to lose all concentration. So yeah, this one I'm going to have to do a fast build for that. So guys, give me a second. I will be right back. I'm going to grab an alternate build.
You have a
Side build.
Ooh. Are we gonna continue the bracket then?
Yeah,
Jeff?
we can.
Yeah,
All right.
continue the bracket. I'll be right back.
James. Oh, so young Pete is scared.
Scared.
He's scared. Oh.
Sounds like Medea. So young Phil is scared.
That's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of from something else. Trying to think, maybe Hocus Pocus. Oh, my camera. That's great.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just decided.
Oh, sorry, Philippe.
Yes.
I actually had an idea for the
It could just be
orchid
my
one.
connection up here.
Uh-huh.
So I actually thought that I meant to say this to you the other night, but since you're always so busy and we never get to talk,
Holy shit. Sorry.
What?
What
No,
happened?
go ahead.
Did I gross somebody out with my cough?
No, that was just the best marriage burn I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, did
Yeah,
someone
that was some
I didn't
marriage
know?
burn right there. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow.
That's why I said. That's why I said out.
So for the orchid one, I was actually thinking that I would build it and you would do my job.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
So that one's off the table for tonight. We're not doing that one.
That orchid one looks so cool, though.
I know, right? I it's almost the one that I was gonna build, but I like her suggestion that she's gonna build it.
Or
Yeah.
I can do whatever one. If you want to do that one, then do that one. But I
No,
was thinking,
I love the
is
idea.
that one is that one gonna be easy though?
It should be.
Okay.
So then I think I'm gonna do Mickey.
Okay.
Haha. Time to do that one.
Oh boy, it's time to do Mickey Mouse.
I'm
Oh, no.
excited. Okay. So
I'm
I'm gonna go ahead and call the last one with Run Run Rudolph because I was paying attention up until a certain point. All right.
What is this one on, Jackie? What is this? This is about the music, or
This is
right.
ultimate Christmas song bracket. We've gone through Blue Christmas and Little Saint Nick. Little Saint Nick won that one. We just got done with Happy Christmas by John Lennon and Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry is going to win that one. Stop it.
Chuck Berry's master?
Next up, we have Christmas Time is Here by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. And Do You Want to Build a Snowman from the Frozen soundtrack?
Well, I mean, obviously, do you want to build a snowman? Wins that just because. Do you want to build a snowman? I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Oh,
I haven't watched that movie 1,000 times.
yeah. I mean, Do You Want to Build a Snowman is fun, but it doesn't have the complexity of Christmas Time is Here.
Do you want to
Or the
build
emotional.
Legos
Yeah.
every Thursday freaking night?
I have a parody called Do You Want to Have a Duel? Do you want to have a sword fight? That's what it is.
Do you want to have a sword fight? I like that.
Come on, let's duel. I have a whole lyrics thing. I'll have to get it, but it's pretty fun.
I think Cam wants Do You Want to Build a Snowman to win?
What do you want?
Okay, whatever argument is happening in the background. Hey, come here.
That would be Luke and Leia. Hey, I'm live on the internet and the internet can hear y'all, so shut up.
In the air on the internet.
Much wow. So mean.
This is how you're supposed to treat your children.
So
Sorry.
Cam, this is a family show.
Oh,
Really? I didn't know about that, guys.
boy.
I'm not really sure about that. Oh boy.
Really? Okay.
See, here's the problem: is you're saying that I sound terrible, but I'm pretty damn good.
Yeah, but can you do any of the other characters? That's the question.
Yep.
So everyone's saying you want to build a snowman, which is funny. But I the complexity of Christmas Time is Here is just fantastic. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Here's
As a
a
music person.
so
Christmas Time is Here is fantastic.
here's a vote we're gonna do. So I have the option to do both Mickey and Minnie. Now I can't do them both. Vote in the chat, guys. Should I build Mickey or should I build Minnie?
Hmm.
You know what? Give old Mrs. Mouse a turn
Yes.
tonight. I vote for Minnie.
Yeah.
Minnie. Someone needs to do Minnie.
3 votes for Minnie. Let's see who else we got here.
Oh boy. I can't do her. I cannot. It's funny. Oh, everyone's
doing
voting
Minnie.
for Minnie.
Yeah.
Minnie's getting all the love now.
Yeah. All right. I'm doing Minnie. Just looking at the chat for like 2 seconds, and everybody's voting for Minnie. So
Build an argument for Vince Guaraldi. No, I don't want to.
now we're also that's coming from James, who has 32 children in his house. So I mean, the guy only
Wow, dude.
exclusively to Do You Want to Build a Snowman?
I mean, I'd rather never hear that again.
Oh, do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Okay.
I mean, I can, but like I can, but like I said, it's negative. It's gonna be negative 40 where I'm at. So
Ooh, that's fun and fresh.
yeah.
The snow has never been higher up here in Susanville. That's where I'm at.
Meanwhile, in Florida, it's 60.
Wow, that means you're gonna be a whole 100
Happy
degrees
for you.
warmer than me.
Now tomorrow it'll be 28.
Oh, okay.
In Nashville, it's 30 degrees.
Oh,
I don't know why my phone went to Nashville, but it did.
I'm not in Nashville.
I realize that.
In case you can't tell by my southern drawl.
And usual, it's warmer in Lynchburg.
Yeah.
It's 43 degrees here. Ooh, and
So-
it's supposed to rain.
So Christmas time is here as our winner, correct?
Not quite. Yes,
Yes, that's
as
my
of right
vote.
now, but I actually didn't catch your guys' votes. So I got Captain Lady Moons, but I didn't get yours or Graveyards.
Christmas time is here.
Same. Christmas time is here.
What about
My
you?
Xmas attitude is negative 40. Thanks, James. I'm shooting for negative 100.
Birds are just fantastic. I'm sorry, it's one of my favorite Christmas songs. I just think it's just fantastic.
Philippe, what's your vote?
I'll go with Christmas time is here.
All right, so that one won.
Unanimosity.
Yes. Joyous.
All right.
I'm sure we angered James
Haha,
because
James.
he's gonna make the argument that that the only song that should ever win is anything Disney related.
And isn't Charlie Brown technically now Disney? I know that they have played Charlie Brown Christmas on the Disney Channel. Yes, they did. They used to.
I thought that's Nicktoons.
Yeah, Charlie Brown is not Disney, but I know
Is it Nickelodeon?
No.
You know
no,
right
it was
that
on
right now is Apple.
I was gonna say it's exclusively Apple unless you buy them on Blu-ray or DVD.
I was just trying to think out the Peanuts movie that came out. What if that was?
Oh, I was
Is
just
that
thinking-
Paramount?
I was just thinking of before, like in the 90s and 80s and 90s, that it was on the
CBS.
CBS.
Yes. Yeah.
CBS.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was.
Ooh.
Wow, our smoke alarm is going off. Sorry, guys.
It's fun.
It's that hot in California.
Of being with parents. No, my stepdad is cooking.
Somebody's burning
Hang on.
cookies.
So
All
yeah.
right.
No, it's not cookies.
Stop burning the gingerbread.
Okay. All right. Whoa.
I think is that from the air fryer? That's so funny. I'm so sorry, internet.
So next up we have Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano.
Jose.
Not
Jose.
Jose Jalapeno
Versus,
On a stick.
on a stick.
Oh goodness.
versus Christmas in Hollis, which I listened to on the way home.
I don't even know that song.
I literally played Christmas in Hollis in our announcement that we're doing the bracket that we're doing the bracket tonight.
Oh, then absolutely that one.
Run DMC.
Of course, James like Feliz Navidad. The Feliz Tomaca.
Please,
Feliz Tomaca. Feliz Tomaca. And they hauled me away to jail.
I said something to Philippe earlier. What did I say to you earlier? And I was like,
Oh my
I said,
God,
don't do
Mrs.
that.
Flores.
What was it?
I don't remember.
Hey, I'm not the one who made that one, okay? I didn't actually. I
But
have
just
no
say
idea.
it on the internet.
That's why I don't care. What you act as if I have like some sort of like filter. I don't.
No, sweetheart, you are the Velociraptor. It's just gonna come straight out.
What's a spicy take on Charlie Brown? What would that be?
I didn't hear a spicy take on Charlie Brown.
James talking about a spicy take on Charlie Brown. So they put like some
James, you are gonna have to fill us in on the spicy take.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do not know this.
because Lucy is about as spicy as it gets on that cartoon.
Fun fact: we were supposed to interview Lucy, and she couldn't make it to the con.
Which one?
She was the second Lucy, I think.
The second one. Okay. So
Yeah.
the one from the movies, not the 1959 one.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's really I don't know. I think Charlie Schultz is quite fantastic. I reading some things about him. We used to have a lot of the Peanuts big books, comic strips, the big books. We had a Garfield as well when I was a kid, and I think I still have. They're still somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I think my sister may have them now. But we've had a whole bunch of them, like some really old ones. But I think, yeah, he kind of helped. Oh wait, spicy take. Oh, the small alarm. Okay, Jay.
I see it.
We had the
Oh.
Calvin and
Times
Hobbes
10.
collection, which was
You had the
awesome.
what
what?
collection?
Calvin
The
Hobbes.
the Calvin and Hobbes comic strip
Calvin
collection.
and Hobbes is
the books.
pretty fantastic.
There was like
too.
4 or 5 entire books of that too.
I only collected Far Side.
Farsight's great.
My
You
mom
would.
sends me
You
Far
would.
Side all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You
Dry
would.
humor
It's
is the
brilliant.
best.
My dad loves Farside and Bizarro comics. He thinks that they're just the funniest. Like, we used to have all those, the big collections at his house.
Yeah.
He thinks they're great.
So where are we with the bracket now? 'Cause we've
I
got-
was just about to. What's your vote?
So
Feliz Navidad. That's my vote.
Yeah.
about you?
Feliz Navidad.
Okay, what about you, Philippe?
what was it against again? It was Feliz Navidad and what?
Christmas and Hollis.
Oh, I guess I gotta go with Feliz Navidad because again, the premise that I'm going off of is which is more iconic. Like, which one do I think of when I think Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Christmas in Hollis, so
It's
I
all
don't.
about Christmas and chicken. No, sorry. It's all about Christmas in Hollis, Queens. And yeah, that's what it's about. I'm actually afraid to say the part that I remember because it might come off unpolitically incorrect. But
So my brain took it to Star Wars, and it was like, oh, Christmas in Hoth is
Extremely cold.
extremely cool.
Christmas in Hoth is very cool.
all right.
But yeah, that was my.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call that one with Feliz Navidad.
Feliz
All right.
Navidad.
Say it one more time.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad.
At least I'm not,
Oh my god.
at least I'm not dead. At least I'm not dead. Okay.
Yeah. At least I'm
Okay, so that's everything on the right side of the what time is it? Okay, we got 15 minutes, Philippe.
That's fine. Let's keep going. Well, we have until Ben shows up, so we're fine.
No, I know. I just don't. Who knows when something's gonna come up and we're gonna get lost in the sauce? So I was just given a 15-minute timer. Are we gonna know when they're here? Because they're gonna pop into the chat, or
He'll pop into the group, and I'll let
if
him.
they're having trouble getting in, how are they gonna contact you?
DM.
Text
Smoke
message.
signals.
What am I?
Okay. No, I'm just saying.
Yes,
However,
yes,
they're
yes.
supposed to contact you if they're having trouble getting in. I want to make sure you're paying attention to it.
Yeah, no, he'll shoot me a
or the
message.
fire alarm.
He'll set off the fire alarm, and then we'll know. Yeah, no, he's not in there yet. At 7:00, just give me the reminder, Jack. At 7:00, we're gonna give away that kit.
Okay.
So, guys, you got your chance. Make sure you guys get into the chat here.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go back up to the top of the bracket. This time we are going to do Little Saint Nick versus Run Run Rudolph. Now that one's difficult.
Ooh.
Now all the reindeer, you know you're the mastermind. Okay, that's gonna be mine. Run Run Rudolph. What about everybody else?
I really like Saint Nick, personally, but that's just because I love the Beach Boys.
Okay.
I mean, Chuck Berry's amazing. He's a king. But,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Run Run Rudolph.
Okay. What about you? What about the rest of y'all?
I'll go with Run Run Rudolph.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Little Saint Nick.
All right. You give it to Little Saint.
That's right. Stick it to.
I was thinking you, Rudolph.
He's definitely sticking it to Saint Nick.
Definitely.
All right. So right now we have it's 5 against 4. Anybody else in the chat? Going once, going twice. Sold for Run Run Rudolph.
Looks like Santa made it to town.
All right. Next up we have. Do you want? No, that's not right.
Right.
Like,
Finally,
this is why
Tanner,
I
you
have to
say
fit-
Saint Nick and Frey Girl.
Well, I have to fit everything on here, so sometimes I get confused.
Oh no!
Look at that! Look at that categorization.
I get confused.
Confuzzled.
How many songs did you do this in the brackets, Jackie?
So this one I found on the internet. This one just had 2, 4, 6, 8, so 16 total, so 8 on each side.
Okay.
That's just the one that we picked. I'll find a different one when we're done with this one. Okay, so next up we have Christmas Time is Here versus Feliz Navidad.
Christmas time is here.
Christmas time is here.
I'm going with Feliz Navidad.
Okay, buddy.
Oh, Jackie. Oh, it's funny.
Do you guys like my partial Christmas decoration?
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'll just wrap all the frames. And then I was like, screw this shit. I'm not wrapping the rest of these frames. It's usually how I because I it was like my way of not committing to Christmas decor in a cheap way. I was like, oh, I could just get different wrap. Because do you ever go to the store and see wrap? This isn't just isolated to Christmas, but do you ever see wrapping paper that you just you really like the graphics on it and then you buy it but you don't want to use it because you like it so much?
I just
Yes.
go. I walk through the section. I just grab whatever's nearest my hand.
So I went when I first. So some of this wrapping paper is probably old. So I went to Walmart and I got these. Walmart has good wrap. They can have good wrapping paper. And so I went to Walmart, I got these ones that I liked, but then I was like, I don't want to use them because I like the way they look. But so my way of enjoying them was to wrap the frames. So I usually wrap the frames, but this year I only got to one.
Yes, just how Hulu has live sports.
Hulu has live sports.
Sure they do.
Works. Oh, sorry, my computer was not charging.
Oh no!
No, I'm okay now. Everything's fine. Okay now.
Graveyard,
has
I'm missing yours.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Ooh, it spells out pig.
What spells out pig? Wait.
So the way that I keep track of the hosts, so everybody in the chat, they just get a little line.
Okay.
And then but everybody who is on screen, I use their initials. So sometimes they spell out fun things. Last week something almost spelled out pimp. And this week this spelled out pig.
The notorious PIG.
It's easier for me to go back in the chat and recount. like who voted for what, but when the people are on screen because they're verbalizing it, it's hard for me to remember like who already gave their vote or not.
Right.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, let's see.
Did you go Forrest?
Yeah, I said Christmas time is here.
Christmas time? All right.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call this one with Christmas time is here.
Yay! Phil, check private chat.
Oh, I'll check it. Sorry. Where are we at?
Okay, for sure. Got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
100% okay.
I'll be jumping off with them too.
Oh, so you guys are just gonna leave me in the depths? Came for the fun, but none of the work.
100% what they're doing. There we
Yeah,
go.
I'm still hanging out with you. Right, guys?
Huh?
So we love hanging out with you.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Except when you go and play Zelda.
Well, it's Zelda.
You leave Link out of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and finish the right side and put it
Yeah.
up against the left side. So we have Run Run Rudolph versus not Do You Shit.
Wow. Mr. Hanky Christmas Soup. Got it.
I have a gift for Mr. Hanky under the tree. Okay, so Run Run Rudolph versus Christmas
I
time.
didn't know.
Run, Rudolph.
Christmas time is here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Christmas time is here.
I'm going with Run Run Rudolph.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm behind.
2-2.
Yep.
What?
It's 2-2. But two voted for, 2 voted against.
You're the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. But doesn't matter. Okay. Christmas
Jen
time.
in the comments voted Christmas time is here.
Yeah,
Yep.
I caught that. You
Yeah.
guys all kind of voted at the same time, and I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready.
I
No.
wasn't ready. No.
I wasn't ready. No.
You're getting those in so fast, Phil.
Now that I have all the pieces out, right, I can start getting through all this.
Oh, so
Phil
Cam
is very organized when he does these builds.
Yeah, extremely.
So Cam, the vote is for Run Run Rudolph versus Christmas Time is Here. We're down to the final 2 on the right side of the bracket. All right.
What are you voting for, LeJack?
Run Run Rudolph.
Ooh, and broken.
Yes.
Well, no, because there's 2 people in the chat that
So yeah,
so I mean
Tyler
they're
and Free Girl said Christmas time.
still one ahead, but
Cam and Julie say run.
Run Run Rudolph. Yeah, I got that one. Any more? Going once, going twice. Reselling it with Run Run Rudolph.
And now he's taking the freeway down. Look at him
All
go.
right.
Oh, he's like just going super fast. Like it's amazing.
All right,
Going like
so
a
I'm
merry-go-round.
gonna go ahead and call that with Run Run Rudolph. So Run Run Rudolph is gonna go up against Last Christmas by Wham.
No contest. That's not a contest. I'm sorry.
It's not a contest.
Wham.
So last
Oh,
I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
wow.
This year, real tears. I'll give it to someone special.
versus
So funny.
Run Run Rudolph. You know you're the mastermind. Look at my cup I got from work. It says let's get blitzing.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cute. I like it.
They
All
found
right.
out too much about me at the Christmas party, I guess.
Well, I'll have to say wham, bam, thank you, man.
You know, the first version that I actually heard of Last Christmas was Darren Hayes' version.
Really?
hmm
Hmm.
I mean, it's a great version. Darren Hayes is amazing. So, shout out to my boy Darren. It's
Darren
fantastic.
Hayes is good, but I mean, is it better than
And George Michael's?
George Michael?
I mean, they're just a little different. I'm not going to say either one's like worse or better. I'm just saying that was who I first heard sing it.
That was a very political answer.
No, because I think George Michael's is great. Now Meghan Trainor has a version of it too, and that one's kind of.
And nobody on the screen is referencing Taylor Swift at all.
Does Taylor Swift
Nope.
have a version?
Yeah.
Yes,
Jackie,
she
how do you
does.
feel about T-Swizzy?
Sure. I trust you.
I just know her Christmas Tree Farm song. I mean, I am a T-Swizzle fan. I've been one.
Jackie
my
is a
daughter.
hardcore T-Swizzy fan, so
I've never been to a concert. So I can
Savage
hardly
Garden fan,
say.
you probably heard of Darren Hayes' version. Just saying. I mean, it comes down to like taste, and I love Savage Garden with everything. So
A T-Swizzy fan.
I'm a
Yeah, I see you
T-Swizzy
laughing over there.
Okay.
Yeah, fun fact actually, Savage Garden I attribute as a major inspiration for a lot of my music actually.
So you drink some chicken cherry cola?
Yeah. And To the Moon and Back. Oh, I know all of them by heart.
I remember them from the 90s, but I couldn't tell you a song.
They did so many. They did Truly Badly Deeply,
Yes.
Cherry Cola. Which some people say I Want You, To the Moon and Back. They did there was ones that I thought were fantastic that weren't big hits. But they also did I Knew I Loved You Before I Met You.
Oh, okay, that one I know.
Yeah.
If it was on the radio, then
Crash
I
and
know.
Burn. Yeah, Crash and Burn was played a lot on the radio actually. And I Knew I Loved You. That's from the second album. So yeah. I love Gunning Down Romance. It's fantastic, but it was not a big hit on the radio. I like a lot of their B-sides. From the first album, Violet is actually really great. Carry On Dancing is fantastic. Yeah, they just have a lot of really great songs. So, anyway.
All right. Let's see. Fours, what's your vote for?
Geez Louise, we got so lost. What was our?
Last
Oh.
Christmas by Wham.
Wham!
Run,
Ram.
Rudolph.
Yes, definitely Ram. Yeah.
Philippe, what's your vote for?
this is a very difficult one for me
Shouldn't be.
because on one side it's
Shouldn't
Chuck
be.
Berry, and Chuck Berry is the fucking GOAT.
Yeah, but you know,
The other-
Wham is Deadpool's favorite.
And
So
that's where I'm broken, because on the other hand, it is Wham.
yeah,
Wham. George Michael and Wham.
gotta say it like Ryan Reynolds.
It's like, do I call George Michael the ultimate Christmas song,
It is the
or
ultimate
is Run
And
Run
there's more to go.
the ultimate Christmas song? No, this is it.
Oh, this is it. This
Yeah.
is the tops.
This is the
Holy
final showcase.
Okay,
showdown. I'm kind of sad Twisted Sister Silver Bells didn't make it.
Twisted Sisters.
Or-
Silver Bell. Oh,
Or
my God.
Making Christmas. I was singing that the other day.
Merry Christmas.
Somebody-
Oh,
Yeah,
That-
how did it come up? We were talking about British Christmases.
Guys,
Okay, how did Making Christmas come up with British Christmases?
I don't know. And I just said, Making Christmas, Making Christmas. Okay.
Well, guys,
um,
let's before we jump into this, and our guest is here,
oh,
so I'm gonna bring
Excellent.
him in just because I kind of want to get his opinion on this last final what the ultimate Christmas song is.
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been frequenting this man's comic book shop for a long time. he may not know who I am, but I know who he is. And that's one of the things on that too is he has his own his own comic book publishing company now, which is what we're going to be talking about here tonight. He's also published a children's book, and it's awesome. I read it, and it's great. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, and this is also before we let Forrest and Graveyard get going here because they got to go play some Zelda. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. Oh, and I mean our entire guest list here. Please welcome to the show, Ben Schwartz.
What's up, man?
Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Good.
Good.
Awesome. How are you?
I am doing good. It's been a great holiday season. Just wrapping up the shop here tonight. Thank you very much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it. You guys are actually the first podcast television show I've done about my books after all the work I did this year. So thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely, man. We're happy to have you on. So you're hopping in right at the end of our bracket here. So we are voting on the best or the ultimate Christmas song.
Oh my God, you got me on the spot here. What are my options? What is everyone throwing out?
So we are at the final two.
Okay.
It is between Last Christmas by Wham
Oh, wow.
and Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry.
I didn't even need to hear the second one. It's got to be one.
Yes. Yes.
All right, guys, I'm going with Wham. Just there's no, as much as I love Chuck Berry, I got to go with Wham on this.
Oh, that's great. Your
All right.
shop looks amazing, by the way, Ben. And you've got all these puggles, and they're so cute.
Yes, there's I guess we can see all of them. There's a couple stuffed ones. There's more stuffed ones over there. This over here is Captain Dylan Hunt, who is sleeping peacefully. I don't know if you can see her back here. This one over here is Roly Poly. She's the old one and the longtime mascot of the store. Both of them have been coming in since they've been about 8 weeks. So as soon as the shots are done, so they've spent more waking hours in here than they actually have at home with my dog.
Wow.
It's great. I mean, they have the full run of the place. They know not to leave. They greet everybody as they come through the door. It's just really, really fun. In fact, it's one of the best things about my job is being able to bring both of my dogs to work with me.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Where is your shop located?
So it's in Sacramento, California, at 1120 Fulton Avenue, Suite K. And we've got a lot of room in here. As you can see, there's not a lot of clutter. I wish I could show you the rest of it. We've got 2 lounges. We've got just a ridiculous amount of trades, new comics, and hot sauce, which is an addition we put in, 4 or 5 years ago. Because in Sacramento, you only ever see the same 3 hot sauces everywhere you go. So I figured, let's bring them in, and it'll be for me. If nobody likes them, I'll eat every last one of them. And it turned out to be a huge success. The comic fans who didn't know they liked hot sauce, because every time somebody introduces someone to a hot sauce, they're like, "Try this," and it's a joke. So I've introduced an entirely new population to it, who have found that it's not just about the heat, it's about the different flavors. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have the hot sauce fans who come in and they don't even read the comics. So it's really fun just to have it here.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went into Empire Comics and looking on that back wall, or like on the wall behind the register, and seeing all the hot sauce there, and just, why is there hot sauce here? I don't get it. Like, and I thought there was like, there was a joke behind it, and everybody started telling me like, no, he sells hot sauce, and I'm like, okay.
The people who come here specifically for hot sauce, when they look it up online, they see it, and then they come down, and you can hear them when they come through the door, because they're a lot of them are like, oh my God, they really do have hot sauce. So they think the same exact thing, that it's a joke. And we have the biggest selection of hot sauce in Sacramento that I have seen, and that all of our customers have seen. So there's just a huge variety.
Amazing. I'm gonna have to stop by sometime, and if I'm up in Sacramento.
Yeah, stop on through. There's hot sauce, there's comics, and there's pugs. The 3 best things in my life. My wife. The 4 best things.
Oh no!
I know. I hope Ben's not watching.
Well, Guys, well, Jack, where are we at on the bracket here?
Oh, the final result is of the ultimate Christmas bracket is Last Christmas by Wham.
There we
Nice.
go.
There we go.
Nice.
I'm gonna need to go back in the. I'm gonna need to go back in the record and see. I think another Wham song won another bracket. I think it was like one of like the 80s party songs or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
I gotta go back and look at it.
Yeah, I gotta go.
But I remember Wham being like a popular one.
And I mean, I'm always gonna my vote every time is always like, oh, Wham. It's always got to be Wham.
So in the comments, Rupert Pentergrass, the best comic book shop in Sacramento with the best customer service.
Nice.
You know what? And I will agree with that.
Well, as someone who's a big lover of books, I collect books, so it's a problem. It's one of the few things it's a vice for me. I'm gonna have to definitely stop at your store.
I'm coming to Cali in April anyway, so I'll be there.
Oh no, I'm definitely taking you to Empire, man. We're gonna go down there. You're gonna meet Ben. It's gonna be great.
Hey, we
Sweet.
better make it like a whole party then.
Pretty much.
A hot sauce party.
Oh man, I love hot sauces. So
Young Phil,
Yeah,
I
do
got
you
to
guys-
jump, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yes,
We're
sir.
about to hit
You got
another
that whole
live.
Zelda stream to go and do. So, guys, real quick before you guys take off, give me your pluggables. We'll start here with Forrest.
All right. So, real quick, if you are a collector of lightsabers, then go to forsfx.com to get sound fonts for your saber. They're going to make them sound absolutely amazing. Aside from that, go to kybercave.com to buy a saber, and then go to Kyber Cave Productions so that you can watch me and all my friends play video games like there's no tomorrow, because we're going nuts on that channel. The whole situation's crazy, and we're having just a freaking blast doing it. So from the Fours fam, from the Kyber Cave fam to your fam, Merry Christmas, Happy Winter Solstice, or whatever the heck it is you celebrate. And we love you guys, and do great into the new year, because 23 is going to be fan-freaking-tastic.
Beautiful. I love it. Aubrey, give us your pluggables.
Hi, I'm Aubrey. I'm a singer, musician, writer. I don't know. I do all the things.
All the
I have all the
things.
hats. All the hats. So yeah, you can go check us out on Spotify. This is my band right there, BYL. You can check us out. I've got my own album on there. You just look me up under Aubrey McCoy. You can find my own album that I released in 2020. Also, go to Kyber Cave Productions. You'll find me there doing lots of video gaming. And there'll be a lot more projects coming as well. So do that. And also, yeah, check us out. So,
Awesome.
I was going to say, I was about to plug Distance Learning, and I'm on it.
Hey, by all means,
How much
plug
I love you guys.
day. We love it. Plug us all day. All right.
Always go to Distant Learning. You got
Right.
it. James and Phil and Jackie are fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh, we love you guys so freaking much. Graveyard.
Yes.
Baby. Tell me where everybody can find you, man.
Yes. If you like horror movies, like listen to me and my co-host Salem, we discuss weekly podcasts with all things horror movies and horror related. So we drop that every Wednesday. And besides that, you can find me at Kyber Cave After Dark on Fridays, and lots of gaming stuff with Fours and Aubrey, and more stuff coming out on the side for that.
Awesome. Well, guys, we love you all. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us for a little bit. And we will see you guys on the next time that you're around, or probably on After Dark.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Bye.
Great.
Boom.
All right.
Well,
Down to the final two. No, the final three.
now, before we jump into this, because I've got a whole bunch of fun stuff to do with Ben here.
Yeah.
I did promise. Oh yeah, it's prize time. Guys, giving away a prize. So, if you are currently in the chat right now, all I need you to do is put in the chat the words "here," and you get a chance to win this prize. I am giving you a Christmas penguin. So again, in the chat right now, go ahead and type in the words "here" if you want a chance to win. Ben, would you like in on this?
Yeah, sure. I'll type here.
All right. So I will take your here.
I'll keep track of it, Philippe.
You're gonna keep track of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna open up the wheel of prizes here.
Okay.
Prize wheel. All right. So since I know Ben's here, I'm putting Ben's name in there. Who else we got, Jack?
Julie, Tyler, Cam, Matt, Gronda.
Oh, Matt Gronda's here to try and win another prize. I'll take it.
And then Ben.
All right, Ben, Julie, Tyler, Matt, Cam. Anyone else?
No.
All right. Well, this will be an easy one then. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put this up on the screen. There we go.
Okay.
And let's see who's going to win a prize. Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. No way. No way. Matt Gronda won our last giveaway.
I was assuming that he's like a regular winner by the reaction.
No. So his first time watching the show was, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Right? Or no, it was last week. No, it wasn't even that. I had a giveaway for our 1,500th follower on Instagram. Okay. And we gave away an Ahsoka versus Darth Maul playset. Yeah. And Matt Gronda won that. So that was the last giveaway I did. And he just won the Christmas giveaway. Now, guys, it's not fixed, I swear, because here's the thing. I'm taking him off and I'm gonna do a alternate.
And it's still gonna come up, Matt.
I know his name's not even on there and he still wins. Somehow Julie wins it. She's getting a Minecraft Lego kit. So I'm sure this is gonna go to the grandkids. Right there, I've got a Minecraft kit here, a little mini kit. Guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out here and entering in to win a prize. But now, let's get into what we're all here to see.
All right, where do we even start on this?
Where do we start? I've got some fun questions before we get into the other stuff, man. So I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to start off with this. What is something that you see people nerding out on or they're obsessed with that you just don't understand, right? So in the past, we've had people say like crypto and TikTok and things like that, you know. So like, what's something that you see people kind of just nerding out on that you just like, I don't understand this.
So this is going to sound very strange considering I have Empire's Comics and Hot Sauce, but it's Hot Ones. I just don't get the idea of watching other people eat hot sauce. I want to eat the hot sauce myself. But everybody loves it. I know they do. I'm in the minority here. I just can't bring myself to watch people eat it. I'm like, well, if I'm watching them, I want to go grab one off the shelf and just try it myself.
And it's just, do you guys sell Packy there?
No, we do not.
Oh, okay.
We only sell the hot sauce.
Okay. But like, yeah, it's funny because Graveyard wants to plan us doing the Hot Ones challenge on the show at some point.
Is that the one chip thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen those before.
So the one chip, I've done it. It's hot, but it's probably the most disgusting thing you will ever eat. It's a stale tortilla chip covered in like powder. Oh, it's so bad, but it's hot. So when you do it, it's gonna work on you.
You know, it's interesting that you said that earlier, how it's not just about like the hot, your thing, not the thing, but with the hot sauces, it's more about like how they have like different flavors, and it's not just about like being able to like power through like the hottest hot sauce. I whenever I like if I try a hot sauce and it's really hot, like there's a taco place by our house who they had like a habanero one. It looked like cheddar cheese is what it looked like. And I was like, is that hot sauce or cheddar cheese? And the guy was like, oh, it's habanero, it's really hot. And I tried it and it was really hot, but it wasn't that good. And I was like, I don't like, even if it was toned down, like I put some butter in it or something, like I still probably wouldn't have really liked the flavor on it. So
it's funny that you say that because habanero is my absolute favorite pepper. I love the flavor on it mixed with the heat. But that's why that wall is filled with everything from habanero, serrano, jalapeno. It's because there's something for everybody.
I usually do like some like habanero ones, like the ones that tend to be not the habanero, but like the stuff that has habanero in it that's like a little like on the sweeter side.
Yeah, habanero mango is like a peanut butter and jelly hot sauce.
I think I've also had I think it might have been like it was like a jam. It was like an apricot jam, maybe with like habanero or something like that. I got it at like a church bake sale or something one time.
I never use habanero by itself as anything. It's always a spice to add into something else.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that we're harping on habanero because a friend of mine just brought me today, fresh from a farmer's market, bag of habaneros.
Nice.
So what do you do with those?
So I eat them with a lot of things. So I like to cut them up and mix them with things. I will put them in my wraps. I'll put them in my salads. My wife will probably use some of these for our enchiladas that we're going to be making next week. So they will not go to waste.
Do you ever make your own hot sauce? Have you made your own hot sauce?
No, I have not made my own hot sauce. I have not gone that route yet. I've thought about teaming up with some of our favorites up there because a lot of those hot sauces are made right here in Sacramento or in the surrounding areas. So I've toyed with the idea of speaking to a couple of them and thinking about putting together an Empire's hot sauce, letting them do the heavy lifting because they know what they're doing, letting me kind of define it and having something special that's only available in Empire. So maybe 2023, I'll actually pull the trigger on this now that you've mentioned it.
You know what would be a good idea is doing something like Captain Dylan's face burner.
Yes, that would. And Dylan can eat pretty much anything, so I think that one would be super hot, and I think Rollies would be just a little bit milder,
more like a buffalo.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, man. So with that being said, we have a segment called "Growing Up Geeky" on our show.
Okay.
What's something that you grew up geeking out on? Like, what's something you geeked out on as a kid?
Well, the comics have always been a part of my life, but we're not even going to go into that because, I talk about it all day, and obviously I geek out on comic books. The biggest thing that I geeked out on as a kid, everybody, and I liked them too, the Transformers, the G.I. Joe, everyone was into He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe. My jam was 100% and still is to this day, Robotech. It is the most fantastic show. It gave kids so much more credit as kids. People were dying, people were changing, there was romances. I raced home every single day just to see that. In fact, there's a poster in my family room of Robotech to this day. And it's the same poster that I've had since I was a little kid. So it's frayed. There's like 1,000 pin marks in there from every time I moved. So yeah, that thing still has left an enormous impact on my life.
That is awesome, man. And so then I have to bring up, what do you feel about Amazon getting that license?
I'm going to see what's happened because Harmony Gold has done such a good job maintaining it over the years, even though we have not gotten new stuff. That's really beyond their control, because there was that whole deal where Tobey Maguire was supposed to be in it. So it was locked up in movies. They couldn't do things, but they've kept the license going. They've given new transformable Veritex. They've given prints. They've given just a ton of things. And you can tell that the people at Harmony Gold really cared about the product. They listened to the fans. They gave them what they wanted, whereas Amazon's not going to do any of that.
I know they did their whole thing with Lord of the Rings, and that's like a whole different monster in comparison to what they're doing with that, because it's the same thing. Like right now, they just announced that they're doing Warhammer 40,000.
Which I'm a huge. I love 40K. I have so many miniatures for that thing. I have high hopes for that, especially with Cavill.
Henry Cavill, yeah, and he's not just going to be an actor on it; he's also producing, and he's a huge Warhammer fan. So
yes. he is steeped in the lore. He knows the lore. Mm-hmm. He knows the game. He knows the mechanics. I have high hopes for this just because of him. Yeah,
and then that's kind of how I feel, because I know that Robotech and Amazon are doing their thing, but it's also Nasio Studios that's having their hand in there, and they're really big about making sure that things are true to their original.
Well, I hope so. The thing is, I've always kind of been against the live action version of Robotech because I didn't think it needed to be done. Mm-hmm. I have that feeling about most things. So a comic book translated into a movie, I'm 100% behind. They're two completely different mediums. Things like Cowboy Bebop getting turned into live action is completely unnecessary because it's in the same medium and it's already perfect.
Right.
So for me, I'm always very hesitant and a little negative on it, just because I think, well, if I'm going to watch TV and I'm going to watch Robotech, I'm going to watch the cartoon.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's me. We'll see how they do. It depends on the cast they get, and if it's Robotech, I'm going to have to at least give it a shot. And watch the first couple episodes.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, so let's get a little bit into a couple of different career things here, right? I mean, again, you talk about comics all day as it is, right? And everything.
And I love talking about comics. I'm all about it.
Right. Well, what I was going to ask is where does the origin story of your love for comics come from? What was your first comic book?
So it's hard to tell you what my exact first comic book was, because when I was a kid, there were comic shops, but there were none anywhere around where I was at. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a comic book store. I got all of my comic books from 7-Eleven on the spinner rack, or Safeway on the magazine rack. My mom would leave me there as a kid. It was the 80s. It was okay to leave your kid for an hour. She would leave me at the magazine rack. Sometimes the Safeway was so uninterested in the comic books that they would just wheel up a cart and it was filled with books, and you had to dig through it and find what you wanted. But it was those moments when she would let me grab a few and I would take them home and I'd read them 5 times, hoping to go back and get the next one, that it's just always been a part of my life. It's always been there. And of course, when I got a little older and I had my own money, then it became a much bigger part of my life, because I could go and follow the books. I could get the ones that I wanted. I could make sure I was reading along on the storylines. And so that's pretty much where my allowance went to. And then, of course, I found my first comic book store, which was in Martinez, and it was called the Land of Neverwas. And I know they're long gone, but it was the most amazing experience because I could ride my bike down there. There was a comic book store. There was an arcade.
Was it in downtown Martinez?
No, it was off. I haven't been there in so long. There used to be a Kmart right off the freeway, and it was right next to that. That's probably no good because it probably hasn't been there for 20 years. but do you know Martinez?
Yeah, I'm from El Sobrani.
Do you know where Sun Valley Mall is?
Yes.
Okay, so it's on the same main street when you're driving down, and you got the freeway on the side. Sun Valley's here. If you're coming from Sacramento, it was a couple exits back.
Oh, so was it more like Pacheco?
Yes.
Pacheco?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I went to the elementary school over there. I can't remember what it's called now. Walnut Acres was in. Well, but whatever.
Sorry, I totally derailed you because it was something that I was familiar with. Sorry.
It was. It's so crazy too because even the mall that I went to as a kid, there was a little movie theater in there I used to go to all the time. That's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, in Concord, in that area, like Flying Colors is like the only thing that's left out there.
And I know Flying Colors too, because I had a lot of family that lived there. So we would go down there all the time. And Flying Colors was very close to, because I grew up as a kid in Martinez. And then I moved to Walnut Creek, which is right by Flying Colors.
Right.
Well, that's where I went to Walnut Acres. And so yeah, I'm very intimately familiar with that comic store. It's a great one.
Yeah, Flying Colors was my jam when I lived out that way. So with that being said, right there, I mean, who would you say is like your most influential character?
My favorite character.
Yeah.
So when I got a little older, X-Men became the one that became my staple.
Okay.
And so my favorite character, because I was always a Marvel kid. I would still pick up DC. I picked up Legion of Superheroes and Teen Titans. Those were the two that if I saw, I'd grab it. But it was always Marvel, and it was always X-Men. And my favorite character and her favorite arc period is Storm. She was. Everyone talks about Cyclops, who is a complete loser. Storm was the greatest leader of the X-Men. She took it in fair combat against the man when she didn't even have any powers. And just the transformation of her from this girl who's coming to a world she doesn't understand to when she gets the Mohawk, leads the X-Men through their toughest times when they went through the Siege Perilous. By far, my favorite character in comic books is Storm.
Yeah. No, Cyclops is a sociopath, man. I mean, or only sociopath like Cyclops.
Everybody loves him, but I mean, he's just such a horrible person. I mean, we're not going to go into it, but just what he did to Madeline alone.
Oh yeah.
And everything that she has done since is on his head. He's definitely not the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And I agree with you on that. There's not like we're definitely in the minority in saying that we don't like Cyclops. Like because I mean I'm a huge Deadpool fan. So I mean like I stand out on Deadpool. I still have my first comic that I bought. And that was the first comic book I bought with my own money, and that was in '97. And that was Deadpool versus T-Ray. And it's funny, like he became so popular, and it was like it almost seemed like I was going along with what everybody else is doing. But it's like I'm a hipster when it comes to Deadpool. I've liked Deadpool since before it was cool to be a Deadpool fan.
Nice.
Right? So it's like that right there. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from when you say like that you like Storm. I've actually been kind of we've argued on the show a couple of times about how I feel like we need a good representation of Storm. Mm-hmm. I was a little upset with them not recasting T'Challa because that means we're not going to get that storyline between him and Aurora. But I mean, if you've seen the latest Black Panther, then that whole thing changed. So
yes, I guess we're not giving any spoilers away.
No, and that's why I'm saying like every notion that I had has changed.
And that's fair. That's fair. I think they did a good job on it. So yeah, speaking of Deadpool though, it kind of sucks when I opened the shop for the first time. I cherry picked my own collection to, because I was trying to make money. I was trying to keep things rolling. And one of the things I cherry picked was the first appearance of Deadpool. And, at the time comics weren't like they are now. And I got like $10 for it. I'm like, dang it. Should have held on to that one just a little bit longer.
You got $10 for New Mutants?
I'm like, yeah, that was great. Nobody wants this book. Oh yeah, now everybody does.
Yeah. Now it's like if you have a first run, it's like that thing is worth just ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah. No, it's one of the ones I remember. But what are you gonna do? Another one I cherry picked was one of the printings of TMNT #1, and we won't.
Oh yeah. The black and white one.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah.
So we won't talk about this because it's a little depressing. But it's not depressing because it paid the bills, and that's why I'm still here 20 years later.
Right. No, I mean that's a classic for sure. So moving away from the comics themselves, or the comic book store itself. So you're a writer, right? How long have you been writing? Because I know we're gonna get into Continuum and everything on there, but like, were you writing before you started Continuum, or is this something that's like you just started doing it to kind of push Continuum?
So it's something that I've done for a long time. Well, I won't say writing because when I was in high school, I did a lot of layouts and a little writing. I had notebooks filled with ideas, but I never really followed through. There'd be some scripts, but nothing really there. So I got out of high school. I moved out of the house. They went into a box. They sat there forever. I'd move, I'd find them again, I'd look through them, it would get fresh in my mind, things would change. And then when I opened the shop in 2003, and in fact, next February is our 20-year anniversary, I started to meet people who were other aspiring writers, people who were artists in the area, who would do fan art for their favorite characters, but they never really knew how to get into the sequential part of it because they didn't have a writer. So I think it was about 2005, a couple years after I'd opened, brought together a group of people who were writers and artists, myself, my wife, a couple other artists, a couple other writers, and a group of artists. And we got together, talked about the things we wanted to do. And then we pretty much randomly paired off writers and artists to start the first book, which ultimately became the Continuum Universe #1. So that was really the moment that I started doing it, and doing it with more in mind than just, one day I'll put this to paper. So the Continuum Universe really is the catalyst for me, because it sparked other things that have gone on. I've got, even out of the things that I showed you that are in collected format that we'll talk about, I've got other things that have been drawn, other things that have been written. They just haven't gone to production because either I've gotten sidetracked with these, I've gotten sidetracked with work, or I've gotten done with it and I've like, well, I don't necessarily know that I want to continue with this. It was fun to do it, and it was fun to see the artwork come in because I still get excited with that. But I finally found my focus with these three titles. And I think that it's been a lot of fun. I think people have enjoyed it. And I know for a fact that people have been asking me about what's going to be coming in 2023, since I've spent so much time in 2022 preparing, getting it traded. Everything's up on Amazon. Everything's up on Kindle. You can get it on the website. Of course, you can get it down here at Empire's Comics. So it's been a long process. It seems like 15 years is a long time to be doing it with such little to show, but it's a lot of work. Like, you get done with your full-time job and you're going home to do another full-time job, whether it's writing, editing, formatting the pages, getting it to the printer, yada, yada, yada.
Right. And I mean, I got a chance to read, some of the stuff that you have, and it's good. It's really good, man. I got to give you the compliment because, it's well written. The artwork is really good. You can tell that there's a lot of thought that's gone into there. I mean, I have questions on the lore itself, like just kind of without giving away anything, because I do want people to go and check it out when it comes out.
Now, which one are we talking about?
And I'm going right into the Continuum stuff.
Yeah. So what we've done is, and I said I spent a lot of time this year getting prepared and getting things done. What I did is, and it's a lot of pages. I mean, we're talking 600 plus pages just on Continuum alone. That's only the first volume. That's the second volume. So, and I appreciate the compliments, but there's some rough stuff and there's some good stuff. You can see right off the bat, Continuum Universe #1, we just jumped into it. We were like, we need to do this. We don't know how to do it. There's nobody telling you how to do small press. There were very few people actually doing small press at the time. So we jumped in and
I have a really quick question. Sorry. What does small press mean?
So small press is where you're somebody creating your own comic books without an actual company behind you.
Oh, okay.
So you're the one essentially. I mainly focus on me being the writer, but I'm the writer, I'm the editor, I'm the productions guy, I'm the marketing guy. You name it, and I do it. I mean, obviously there's people that help me. My wife is our main editor. She takes care of all of that. I've had other writers on there with me, and of course there's all the artists doing a lot of the heavy work. But small press ultimately means it's the stuff that you will not see in every store across the country because they're not getting distributed and not getting picked up by companies.
Okay, got it.
So so we jumped in, we put it out there. The first issue was so much fun to see to come together, but again, it was a little rough, but it was a huge learning experience because I looked at it and I went back and I immediately knew what I had done wrong and what I had done right because I'd been reading comic books for so long. So I was able to make the second issue even better. and each time it keeps getting better.
Right.
And the neat thing about the Continuum universe is, even though every single story seems different, you've got science fiction stories, you've got horror stories, you've got superhero stories, you've got mystical stories. All of them are in the same universe. And that's why this cover really kind of encapsulates that, because you can see just a variety of things and just a variety of characters. And although every story is telling its own story and building towards its own conclusion, they're all part of the same world. So we've had some of the characters meet. We've had references and little subtle things in there that show that they're in the same world. So it's been fun because it's not just me writing my story, my wife writing hers, Jesse Jones writing his. It's all of us having to work together to make sure that it fits, because you can't contradict what somebody else has done. So you really have to be thoughtful and put just a little more work into the product just to make sure that it all fits together. So I hadn't actually published any of these in a while. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get them traded, so I can get them traded and work on some new things. And it's turned into kind of a monster of its own, which is really, really fun. Producing all of these books and all of these stories at once is just not tenable at the moment, especially with the state of the world, trying to take care of the store and keep things going. So what I've done is I've pulled it together, and I'm working on a new story that's going to be coming out in 2023. And we're going to have a lot of it over at on Substack. It's Ben C. Schwartz, .substack.com. And I'm going to start posting some of the comics. And what I'm doing is I'm telling one story based around my main character, who is Relic of the comic book Relic and Ego.
Right.
And jumping 3 years into the future. And so we're going to find out what's happened in those 3 years, where the world is at. And it's all going to be one story in one cataclysmic event that has brought all of the characters together, whether they're the villains or the heroes. It's going to be something fun to do because I can do flashbacks. We've got 3 years worth of time that's lapsed. So we'll have what's going on now. We'll get flashbacks to resolve stories that were unresolved, flashbacks to show you how people got where they're at. So I'm having a lot of fun piecing that together. And it's kind of been my main focus, because a couple of the other ones that we'll talk about, they're already moving forward. Art's being done, stories have written. So Continuum has been my real focus lately, because I want to bring that one back, and I want to give one final trade paperback where I can wrap everything up and just put a little bow on it and maybe move on to a new project.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, cause that's what I meant when I was jumping into like lore and everything like that, is the world building, the way that you built specifically, because, when you read volume 1, you start with Relic and Ego, and it's like, you're jumping right into their world, right? There's like a lot of things. There's no origin story, but you kind of just, you start learning more and more about what she's capable, what Relic is capable of, and kind of you get a couple of little flashback things, but for the most part, it's like, okay, it's obvious that you're going to get that later on, and I love that, because it's very much it's like any comic book. If you pick up a comic book, it's like, oh, I missed this, I need to go back and read this, or I need to go check this out, and things like that. Again, just kind of looking at the dynamic between the two characters, right? And learning more and more about Ego and the way that he is, versus the relationship that he has with Relic, but then also again the lore and the world building, the water giants and the different characters and things like that. Like, were those things that you pulled from like actual like mythology, or did you create those characters?
So no, everything in there is created by me, except for the second issue where she deals with the Sadako, the little Japanese girl doing the cranes, the paper cranes. That's an actual story from Japan that just really touched me, so I wanted to include that. But everything else is just purely something that I was building towards, and it's something that we're going, especially speaking of Relic and Ego, since they're going to be the main drive behind the new stuff. Those are all things that I wanted to build towards, to show you this world that is beyond the veil. It's a kind of a divide between ours and a fantasy realm. And Ego and Relic are two of the people who can traverse it. So some of their adventures will be set on Earth. Some of their adventures were set beyond the veil. And as we jump forward in those 3 years, a lot of those questions that you just had about some of the things like the water giant and Veerage, they're going to be resolved in this new chapter, because most of what we see in the new chapter with the characters, even the other characters from the other story, will take place beyond the veil. So we'll get to see what the mistress was doing, what her minions have been up to. But we will also focus back on the Earth when we're dealing with like the Hunters and Unit TF and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot to do. But as far as the Relic and Ego stuff, that was all kind of as you said, it's a world building that hadn't been resolved. That's what's coming in this new age that we're going to be doing on Substack.
Okay, cool. Now, again, I'm interested in reading more, because again, just the way that I love stories like that. It's like Star Wars, you get immersed in the universe and you just kind of learn as you go.
Yeah, and I have fun doing that too, because I have, I've got ideas for what's happening on the other side and what's happening at the end. But one of the things that I find that's really fun for me, a lot of people tell you not to let your characters take control. Mine always do. I have a plan. I've got something I absolutely need Relic to do. I get 10 pages in and she's talking to me as I'm writing it. And she's like, no, this isn't what I would do. This is where the story's going. So for me, a lot of my I like to call it a vomit draft. My vomit draft is out of my control, and I have to follow her lead, and then I can come back and say, okay, did this work? Do I need to change some things? How can I get her to do what she needs to do? So it's kind of a fun process for me in that regard, because it doesn't feel like it's just me writing it. Like I have put so much thought into these characters since I was a kid, because in Relic and Ego in particular, I talked about those notebooks that I did back in high school. They were prominent characters back then. They weren't anything like they are now, but they were still prominent characters and vaguely resembled what they became.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Ask another question, Philippe. So you were a minute ago, just a second ago, you said how people, or how they say not to let your character. What did you say?
That you should have control of the story, and not to let your characters take control. You should know what you're doing, and you need to get there. So I've heard that quite a bit from people.
Can you tell us? Can you elaborate on more on what that would look like?
So not particularly, because I don't do it.
Okay.
I don't, and I've never quite gotten it, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I imagine what they're saying is you need to have your story completely mapped out. You need to have know everything that your character is going to do. You need to have a very tight story. And although my story becomes tight because I start out with a nice loose knot, as I go back and reread and think about it, and I go back and rewrite, I'm tightening that.
Okay.
So the same knot that somebody would get if they'd thought it out meticulously before they put it to paper. Now, the other thing that I find useful about me doing these vomit drafts and getting stuff out there, even sometimes when I'm working on how to get there, is that I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest holdups for people who want to write and who want to do small press is that they're so caught up in getting it perfect and getting it completely the way they want it, that they never actually put pen to paper, and their story never comes to life. Mm-hmm. So for me, this is a great way to just start. And I always have my wife edit it. I've got a buddy who will look over my stuff as well and keep me motivated and help me. And like I said, I eventually get to that point where I feel that the string is tight and the knot is tight, and what I've put to paper works just as well.
Right.
Are there any what am I trying to say? Sorry. I have a hard time finding my words sometimes. What are some ways that you, when you're looking for not necessarily inspiration, but when you're trying to sharpen characters, are there for me, when I'm trying to sharpen a character, I go and look at old newspapers. Is there anything any sources that you go to try to help shape your character or details of something like that?
So it really depends on the character. But I often like to do free writing. And music is, I always have music. I tend to find certain music that might fit certain characters. So when I'm writing and I'm doing my free writing, I will put in my AirPods. I will just write. I will talk about the characters. I will talk about their origins. I will make notes in there to say, okay, I don't know what this means. And as you said, look at old newspapers. I'll be like, hey, look this up, look this part up. And so that will help me really get my thoughts out more than me just thinking about it on the ride home, because I'll do that. And when I do that, I often will spin. I'll often find myself back at the same point that I started at, or asking the same questions without any resolution. Whereas if I type it, it feels like I'm getting it out. I'm already getting it out into the world.
Yeah.
So it begins to tighten itself. And if I do a 15-minute free write about Relic, I'll start with some questions. I'll start with some things that are going on. And then I may have an idea. I'll type it. And then I may start from the beginning again as I tighten it to make sure that she becomes who she needs to be.
Mm-hmm. I imagine you listen to classical when you're when you're writing Ego.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of classical stuff there. I love when I'm working on Relic and Ego. I love instrumentals too, even from soundtracks, because they've got the epic kind of feel that theirs does. With the battles that go on and the world behind the veil, the building. It's about some stuff coming up, but my absolute favorite soundtrack is Gladiator.
Oh, yes.
It's just wonderful, and it oddly works for a lot of things because of the epic nature of that soundtrack.
Right. No, that's awesome. It's a song that I would for some reason I always found inspiration out of it was the theme from Wonder Woman.
I will have to go check that one out, actually.
Yeah.
And now that we're talking about music, the one thing that I'd forgotten about was one of the things that got me really writing was it's a song. At the end of the day, Relic and Ego is a story about the dynamic duo, the enigmatic duo, the father and daughter. But there's a love story that goes through there too, with Tempest, her lost love, and right. Relic, who knows he's out there, can't find him, and her dealing with it while she travels with her dad. One of the biggest songs that hit me, because Tempest and Relic were a core to this thing, was what is it? Gravity of Love by, is it Enigma? Just such a random song, but that song, I had happened to hear it at the time I was doing it, and it has resonated with me ever since. So as I said earlier, each character and each situation has their own song and their own type of a feel. So those help motivate me as well.
Yeah, I'm also find a lot of inspiration in character development and songs too. Now that you say it, I have one doesn't really have a title on it. We just refer to it as chapter 1. And it's actually it's a Highwaymen song. And the story is about, for me, and it's where I'm not going to steal the spotlight, but so that song is about two brothers. And oddly, when I listen to that song, I often think about my dad and I, not because we're brothers. We're not brothers. But,
that would be terrified.
No, but because him and I, we grew up in the same house, in the sense of we were kids and adolescents in the same house. So I grew up kind of doing the same thing my dad did, like building tree houses, forts, playing outside and stuff like that. So I feel like him and I lived very similar lives, but at different times. So, and I took one route and he took kind of like a different route with life. And that's kind of what the song is about. So when I wrote my chapter 1, which doesn't really have a title, that was sort of like, you almost like, for me, it's like I almost like see like a music video in my head when I listen to those songs. So then I just started writing them out. So
I'm gonna have to have you send me that song first off, because it sounds like we had somewhat similar circumstances, because I spent in my as a kid, I was with my grandparents a lot. I lived with them quite a bit, and it was the same house that my dad and uncle grew up in. So that might be kind of interesting, because we did the same thing. I'm sure we played around that walnut tree over and over again in exactly the same way. So when this is all over, I'm gonna have to get the name of that from you.
Yeah, I'll happily send it to you for sure.
I'm gonna try to get it to you.
Excellent, thank you.
Absolutely. So yeah. So kind of, yeah, again, you know, the stories, and I see that they're like kind of just different stories again. It's you can see kind of like the Marvel influence, being that, you know, you have all these different stories, but they live in the same universe kind of thing. So, you know, because I mean, the X-Men are different from the Avengers, from, you know, Man-Thing is in the and the horror stuff that they do, you know, versus Blade, and then the interactions and stuff like that. So I mean, I see where you have kind of the same type of universe happening, where you have all these different stories that have their own kind of subgenres, but then they can mix together at different points.
Yeah, and that was something that appealed to myself and everyone who we started with, because although we each had our own story, it was the idea that I could cross over with somebody else's. It was just, it's such a neat idea. And we thought it would, as I said, it was a little harder. And we thought that would be a little better for us to have to work a little harder to make this work together, and to kind of refine what we were doing and the stories that we were telling.
Yeah, absolutely awesome, man. So kind of moving away a little bit from the continuum stuff. And I mean, we already talked a little bit about the inspiration for this, but the children's book. I definitely want to talk about this, because like what, and you have it in the book, so you know, you put your inspiration on there, but you know, just to kind of get people to go and check it out. You know, aside from the fact that your inspiration is like, both of them are sitting next to you right now. Tell us about your about the children's book a little bit.
So the children's book, which is this one right here, the Pug Day with Roly Poly and Captain Dylan, was and Davey Turner. First off, Davey Turner is a Sacramento native who I've known for a long time. I approached him because I've always loved his style. He just knocked it out the park. I mean, let's just give him a little credit here. You've got, I mean, just wonderful pictures of these dogs, you know, them going to work. And the point of this one is this is a day in the life of these two pug sisters, from the moment they get up to the moment they get home. And what inspired it and what brought it about was, I have a buddy I mentioned earlier who I have worked with a long time on creative stuff. He does his, I do mine. We bounce stuff off of each other. We're always trying to get each other to go farther and to do things. And one of the things we decided to do was, it was like, well, what haven't we attempted? What haven't I done? And it was a children's book. Continuum Universe is all ages, but you know, as you said, it's more in line with the superhero, no matter what the genre. Right. I've done Trixie Dynamite, which was comedy. So I tried my hand at the children's book, and I was like, this is going to be easy. Look at the number of words I got to put on a page. This is fantastic. And it wasn't as easy as
I imagine it wasn't, man.
Because I don't, like, you know, Trixie Dynamite comes naturally. I can sit there and just bust it out. I'm writing this children's book, and I'm realizing I'm not a 6-year-old. I don't know what works. Like, what do I do? So we wrote it, we rewrote it, we talked to parents, we talked to kids, and I finally got the feel. And I was like, okay. So I had to start from scratch. I went through, built it back up, got feedback from people, and finally came out with a book that I thought was exactly what people would want, and it continues to be. From the moment it hit, it has been just the biggest success. People have, I mean, I've had to reprint a ton of these just to make sure they're in stock, especially for the holidays. So I think it kind of came out finally, and it really did capture the two pugs. The differences, it appeals to the kids. It's got questions that you ask. It's got fun sounds and things for parents to make. And of course, we've sold, some to people outside of the empires, but to everyone who's here in Sacramento, it just resonates because the pug girls are here, they're in the shop, and they know them. So it was super fun to do. I really loved it. And in fact, I've already written number 2 and 3. We've got a local artist named Jen Monson. She goes by Jen U1 Art, and she is working on the 2nd volume. I've got another artist I'm talking to get the 3rd volume going. So in 2023, we'll probably have Rolly and Polly 2 and Dylan Hunt 2 and 3 on the shelves. And the 2nd one is them exploring Sacramento, all of its landmarks, all of my favorite things that are out there. And the 3rd one is how to care for your pug, because it's one of the things I get the most from people, kids and adults who want to get a pug. They're like, these things are the most fantastic creatures I've ever seen. And I agree. But they're like, are there any difficulties? Why, what's the deal? And there are. Caring for a pug is not like caring for other dogs. I've had dogs my entire life. I haven't done as much work as I do on her. Whether it's the constant, constant upkeep of the nails, of the wrinkle, of the ears. You've really got to take care of these guys a little more than your average dog, and especially because they have no snout. So there's a lot of problems revolving around that too. So the 3rd book lets you know just what it's like to have a pug, and then of course how to care for it.
No, and it's great, man. Like I said, I read it and immediately I was like, I've got a couple friends with young children that I should probably run this to because I think their kids would enjoy it.
Yes, yeah, and and even if they're not around, like I said, you can get Rolly and Dylan on Amazon and Kindle. So it's available everywhere, which is really nice because now that it's done, I can move on and hit the other ones and not worry about this thing.
Right. Also, like, what kid doesn't like a fart joke inside of the middle of a children's book?
I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't you? Who doesn't in general, right?
Yeah, that had me cracking up. I was like, oh, he really put a fart joke in here. This is great.
Well, as perfect as they are, it comes with it.
Well, and I knew that because I was like, oh yeah, no, pugs fart. I know that. It's something about short snout dogs that they just fart up a storm.
They're perfect either way. Absolutely love them.
And geriatric dogs fart up a storm.
This one's this one's about 14. So
wow.
She's up there. She's sleeping now because she's been up all day.
It's past 4 o'clock, man. I had a lab that lived almost 18, and by 4 o'clock, they're down for the count.
That's actually impressive to go that long.
She was a lab mix, but she was like a medium-sized dog, 60 pounds. She made it 17 and a half years, and she probably could have made it to 20, but her arthritis was so bad. My parents were like, you got to put her down. And I was like, but I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I know it sucks because as every dog owner knows, you eventually come to that quality of life. And it sounds like it was probably for the best. Luckily, Rolly, like I said, 14 years old. She's doing great. I think one of the benefits she has, because every time she goes to the vet and the vet checks her out, she's like, my God, this dog is in amazing shape for this age, is that she's here. She's got people that give her attention 24/7. She thinks she's the guard dog of the store. Anything outside, she barks at. But as soon as that same person walks in, she runs up to get love. So she's got purpose. She's got exercise. Hopefully, Rolly will be around for quite some time.
Yes.
Yes, most definitely.
And we wish for a extra long, extra happy. She's happy as it is, but I mean, extra happy life.
She's, and that's the thing. I'm gonna miss her when she goes, but it's not gonna be sad only because she's probably been one of the most spoiled pugs, ever. So she's had a good life.
Yeah, and even before reading the book, even before anything. I mean, like I was always told that if you go to Empire Comics, just be ready. There's pugs everywhere, and Ben loves his pugs. So I mean, I really do get the love from you, man.
And there's, and we're dog friendly too. So it's great because people will bring their dogs down to play with the two. And Rolly, she's not a big dog fan, but Dylan, it lives for other dogs. Like it's her most exciting time when another dog comes through. She will just chase and play and run. And Rolly just keeps an eye out, makes sure that other dog isn't doing anything.
And she has a friend, right? Like you mentioned it in the book.
She does. The one that she's known the longest is Stella, who is a dog that locals bring in here.
Look at her. You said Stella. Wait, where's
No,
Stella?
she did pop up. Stella, she's got other friends that have come through. We've got one customer who brings a cat. The cat's not as thrilled about them as they are about the cat, but puts up with it. So yeah, they've got a lot of different pets that they get to play with.
Well, that is awesome, man. I just realized what time it is. So we do have to start wrapping up here. So I do have some wrap up questions for you.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into those here. Let me just get back here. All right. So being that you're a Sacramento native, or not native, but Sacramento local, what is your favorite kind of taco? And we're going to take it a step further than what we ask of everybody else. What's your favorite taco spot?
So my favorite kind of taco is probably a chorizo taco. And the favorite spot for me to get that particular taco is Chando's Tacos. They're absolutely wonderful. I always hit the one up that's on Power and Road. Wonderful. It's just such a great chorizo. And that's my favorite kind of taco, and they make it just right.
Nice. I am in particular a al pastor guy.
Okay.
And that's always the I make the joke that the staple, or like the way that you judge any place that makes tacos, is by how good their al pastor is.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Being Latino myself, so I mean, that's kind of our thing. Next question here. So and you've been giving it the entire show, but what's some advice that you would give somebody who's trying to get into the industry, or somebody who's trying to get into just kind of break into this field?
So yeah, I mean, I'll reiterate just a little bit over what I said, but I think the most important thing that you could possibly do, whether you're a writer or an artist, a letterer or a colorist, is to just produce. Don't worry about whether or not it's ever going to hit the world. Don't worry about what anybody thinks about it. Don't worry about any of that. You don't even have to share it at the beginning. Just put pen to paper. And as I've used the vomit draft, just get it out. Don't worry about making it perfect. Don't write one paragraph, go over the paragraph, go back over the paragraph. Just get a chapter out. Start with something, and then you can go back and revise it. Nobody puts anything to the paper perfect the first time it goes out. Even if you don't have your entire story planned out, I recommend not even waiting. You can write about the world for 20 years and never have every aspect of it explored. But you're still going to need to start that script, whether it's a novel or whether it is a comic book. So that the very first thing you need to do is that. And advice as far as trying to find people, there's a lot of resources. If you're a writer and you need artists, you can look on Instagram. You can look on Facebook. There's groups for it. There's a website that I used to use, and I imagine it's still around. I haven't had to use it in a long time because I've got such a network of people built up. But Digital Webbing had you could post for a collaborative event or works where you would work with somebody and it'd be 50-50 ownership. They had paid places where you could post. So there's a lot of places to get out there. Don't worry about necessarily finding someone in your local community. I love the idea, and I've found plenty of people, but it doesn't always follow through. You need to have your options open. You need to find somebody who's produced things and done things. So don't let that hang you up either. And once you have that, just don't be afraid to get it out into the world. Put it out. I told you right off the bat that Continuum Universe #1, it was rough. That first story with Relic and Ego, I had, a panel, like a page worth of dialogue on one panel, no dialogue on the next. You go back, you keep moving forward, you learn from your mistakes, and then every issue just gets better and better.
I love it, man. And there's a couple people in the chat who, they're we've got aspiring comic book artists. We have people who have been trying to break into the industry and things like that. And this, I've already seen a couple people mention that this is like great advice. Is great. They're appreciating the information that they're getting from you here, Ben. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And feel free, you can hit me up. You can hit me up at Empires, but you can also do Ben C. Schwartz on every platform. If you have any questions, you want to just show me something. I mean, I work in the industry, so I can take a peek. I'm always happy to give some advice.
Oh, perfect. Because you actually just hopped ahead of me, because I was going to ask you for your social medias and all that. But the last question here. So what's next for you? So aside from we've been talking about Continuum and kind of moving forward with that. But is there any other projects that you're working on at the moment?
So obviously I'm going to be doing the Continuum. Again, check out Ben C. Schwartz, the Substack one, because I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff there. I'm going to be posting concept art. I'll be posting layouts. I'll have the final products done there. I'm also going to be using Substack heavily as a tool for the writing process. I'm going to be doing posts about how things get done, about how you go to find a printer, how you find a letter, how you get, the writing process. So I'll have a lot of stuff there. But as far as projects go, Continuum Universe is my focus right now. The Rolly and Dylan book, again, 2 and 3 are on the way. And Trixie Dynamite has more coming. I've got web comics. We didn't really get to talk about her, but there she is. It's an all ages comedy set 100 years in the future in Sacramentropolis. And she's going to be getting new scripts. New stories out there. She's going to be getting web comics out there. And I even started as an experiment, because I talked earlier about how I like to try things new that I've never done.
Right.
I've been working on a choose your own adventure that is half traditional choose your own adventure, half RPG. So I'm trying to find that fine line where a casual person can play the game, but somebody who's a big gamer like myself finds enough intrigue and difficulty to make it worthwhile. So I'm tweaking it, and I think I found a kind of a nice little mix. But I will be putting a chapter of that out hopefully in 2023 that people will be able to play through on Substack.
I forgot to mention this because I know the pandemic kind of messed things up for a while, but are you guys still doing like gaming meetups at Empire? And I know you guys had like a Lego builders thing that was going on over there for a while.
So we unfortunately aren't doing anything at the moment, and it comes down more to logistics, staffing and my time, because I'm here quite a bit, and I'm here by myself quite a bit. So at the moment, we've got the occasional thing that we do. Our book club's still going. We definitely do all the interviews and other things, but we'll hopefully get back to that in 2023 too, and as everything gets back to normal.
Okay, cool. Because again, I remember those just being fun things to do in general, and again, more reasons to go to the show. There was SPW that happened in your parking lot a couple times.
Oh yeah, I love those guys. They're so much fun. Yes.
We're actually we've actually gotten pretty close with John recently, and he's a great guy. I love him to death.
Sweet.
Yeah, so especially because he runs Stockton Con and everything like that. So we've had him on the show a couple times to promote Stockton Con, Lodi Con, and all the different things they do. So
yes, yeah, another great con. Stockton Con is one of the best.
Right. No, I love him to death, man.
Did you go to Stockton Con this year, Philippe, or is that when we had COVID?
No, I did go to Stockton Con this year. We did run around as so we weren't there as distance nerding. Okay. I went there. I was cosplaying, so I was running around as Unipool and messing with people. So me and Jackie have this inside joke, and she likes to scream out if it's from a movie, but ask me about my wiener.
Oh.
And I walked up to. He wasn't there with us, but I came across a guy in a hot dog costume. And he saw me and he was like, "Oh, because I cosplay as Deadpool, cosplaying as a unicorn."
Okay.
So I see him. And he's like, "Dude, I have to take a picture with you." I'm like, "Okay, hold on." Ask me about my winner, and he just starts cracking up. And there's a picture of it on our Instagram, but like he's just he didn't expect it. And I was like,
No, of course not.
yeah, and that's kind of like the kind of things that I do because I'm very Wade Wilson when I walk around the cons. So
I mean, you have to be. People enjoy that. It's not just about taking a picture with you. They get to interact with Wade.
right, and that's the thing is because I've come across a lot of Deadpool cosplayers that don't really have the character down, but they have great costumes, right? And it's kind of like I'm more of like it's a mediocre costume with a really good mask, but it's a mediocre costume. But I'm very much Wade Wilson. I become the character 100% when I'm in the costume. So it's things like that, and I get to drop some acting chops and stuff like that. So anyways, before I start going off on 1,000 tangents, because I will, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us tonight. Now of course, for those of you who don't know or anything like that, I gotta just throw it out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we got merch, people. Yes, that's right. We got merch. If you are interested in Distance Nerding merch, head over to any of our social media. Hit us up. Let us know that you are interested in a Distance Nerding shirt or a Distance Nerding hat. At the moment, we only have the Galaxy Gray left.
Whoa, we're sold out.
We're sold out of the Baller Black. So Baller Black is sold out. But we do have Galaxy Gray. If you're interested in the Galaxy Gray hat, which actually is my favorite color of both hats, if you're interested in the Galaxy Gray hat, go to Distance Nerding. Any of our social medias, let us know you want a hat. Our hats are $35 each, and then we have shirts as well. If you're interested in the shirt, they are $20 if you're local to Sacramento, $25 if we got to ship it to you. Outside of that, if you're interested in stickers, I give you stickers for free. You just tell me you want stickers and I will send them to you. Actually, Ben, I'm going to stop by and give you a whole bunch of them just because why not?
Awesome. We'll make sure they go to the right place.
There we go. So outside of that, guys, before I let everybody go here, Ben, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you one more time.
You got it. Now, for the shop, Empires Comics, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. If you're looking for the creative stuff, it's Ben C. Schwartz, same platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, Substack was going to be our main home for all the creative stuff, where you can find our web comics, our small press thoughts, and of course, all of the Continuum Universe, Trixie Dynamite, and Roly Poly stuff coming out.
Oh, is there just pure Roly Poly stuff that's coming out?
No, she's just my favorite, so sometimes I leave Dylan out.
All right.
Sorry, Dylan.
Right. Dylan's like, yeah, see, yeah.
Yeah. This is my life. Yeah.
Jack, let everybody know where to find you and what you got going on.
I have nothing going on. No. So my Instagram, I put it private again because there's like a lot of kind of robot-y weirdos. Yeah. Liking some things. And I don't get down with that. So if you want to befriend me on the Instagrams, just send me an ad and I'll add you, but I had to take it off public. But yeah, I'm gonna be sharing. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow night. Be sharing my Christmas Eve on Rancho Road. So that's like the first thing that I've ever written that I'm gonna share with people on the internet. Not a lot of people have read anything that I've written, so I'm gonna officially publish that. And that's really all I got going on.
Awesome. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know us. I am your boy, Young Phil. Catch us on Distance Nerding now. Of course, our schedule on Mondays, we've got game streams from 8 to 12. I'm typically playing Cyberpunk 2077. I'm almost done with that. And I've been playing a little bit of Call of Duty lately. And I'm going to go into the next story-driven game because it's great. Of course, on Tuesdays, we have The Download, which is our primary show. It's the one that becomes the audio podcast. That show is, for those of you who this may be your first time watching the show, the Tuesday show, we cover news, rumors, we cover reviews, we do trailer reactions, things like that. And then we do like all of our different little fun segments like Growing Up Geeky and everything like that. On Thursdays, the show that you're currently watching right now is the build, where I build things on screen, typically Lego, and then we do interviews and play some games with friends. So that is it from us today. Of course, all of our social media, find us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook Live. We got a Discord, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to talk to us on Discord, hit us up on there, and that'll also send you alerts anytime we go live. And then, of course, the OnlyFans. If you want to see pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals, then that's basically it. Our
I need to know what a mandal is.
It's sandals that men wear.
Oh, okay.
So Aaron Watson's feet and mandals. That's all it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. Ben, we didn't warn you, but we have a little thing we do at the end of the show called the dance party. And what the dance party consists of essentially is just grab something around you, a toy, or stuffed pug, that'll work. The girls are sleeping. I wouldn't suggest grabbing the girls, but what you can do is grab something on the screen and just make it dance on screen. Jackie will show you here in a second. So here we go.
Grab the best thing. Actually, I want to go grab another thing. Hold on.
I was gonna say, you want to run in here? Do your favorite things in here?
I have something I want. I just grabbed something else.
Oh, look, she's awake. She's ready.
She's like, what is happening?
Why am I awake? All right, here we go. Let's start this.
Oh my gosh, look at that face.
She's so upset.
She is not what she is like. I was sleeping peacefully watching after the year. I am sorry, buddy. You're no more. Have to make that
Emmett's back on the show.
How long are we gonna dance for?
It's almost over. See everybody next week.